Today, I have something important to share. It's a message for the collective, but I feel it's meant for a specific group of people, about 4% of you. So take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Start with this declaration. Before we dive into the message, I want you to say something with me. Speak it out loud or repeat it in your heart, but feel the power in these words. I am not a slave to fear. I am not a slave to addiction. I am not a slave to anger. Take a moment to let that sink in. Say it as many times as you need until you feel it. These words are a reminder of your power, a way to push back against the challenges you might be facing right now. What's happening in the spirit realm? Let's talk about what's going on. You might not see it, but in the spiritual realm, there is a lot happening. There are forces, negative, low vibrational energies that don't want to see you succeed. They can't stand your light, your confidence, and the way you are stepping into your true self. These forces recognize your potential, and it bothers them because they can't reach that level themselves. These energies are actively working against you. They form alliances to create obstacles, especially targeting those parts of you that feel vulnerable. They are strategic, they know where you might struggle, and they focus on those areas to try to pull you down. This might sound intense, but it's important to be aware of what's happening. Awareness is the first step to standing firm against these challenges. The areas they target. These forces usually attack in three main areas: fear, addiction, and negative emotions like anger or self-doubt. Let's break these down. Fear. If you struggle with fear, fear of failure, fear of the unknown, or fear of judgment, these forces try to amplify that. They plant fearful thoughts in your mind, making you doubt yourself. They want you to believe that you're not strong enough, smart enough, or good enough to handle what's ahead. Fear is their favorite tool because when you're afraid, you shrink, you stop taking action, you hesitate. They want you to stay stuck in that small, fearful space where you feel powerless and unsure. Addiction. For others, the challenge might be addiction. This could be addiction to substances like drugs or alcohol, behaviors like overeating or excessive social media use, or even toxic relationships. Maybe you've made a decision to quit or change these habits. You've told yourself, I'm not going to do this anymore. But these negative forces are trying to pull you back. They nudge you, whispering thoughts like, just one more time won't hurt, or you're too weak to stop. Addiction is a hard battle because it often feels like a part of you. But remember, you are not your addiction. You are stronger than it, and you can overcome it. Negative emotions. Finally, these forces might target your emotions. Anger, sadness, jealousy, and self-doubt are all tools they use to throw you off balance. They provoke situations that make you react emotionally, hoping you'll lose control or spiral into negativity. For example, you might notice people saying or doing things that seem designed to get under your skin. Or you might find yourself doubting your abilities out of nowhere. This is intentional an effort to make you feel powerless or stuck in negativity. Why are you being targeted? You might wonder, why me? Why am I being targeted? The truth is, you're being targeted because of your light. You are stepping into your power, and that scares these low vibrational energies. They see your potential, your ability to grow, and your determination to rise above challenges. They don't want you to succeed because your success reminds them of what they lack. Think of it this way: if you weren't doing something right, they wouldn't bother with you. The fact that they're targeting you is proof that you are on the right path. It's a sign that you're growing, evolving, and stepping into your higher self. What can you do? Now that you know what's happening, let's talk about what you can do to protect yourself and stay strong. Stay aware. The first step is awareness. Be mindful of your thoughts and emotions. When you notice fear, doubt, or temptation creeping in, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, is this really me, or is it something external trying to bring me down? Recognizing what's happening takes away its power. Once you see it for what it is, you can respond instead of reacting. Affirm your strength. Speak positive affirmations daily. Remind yourself of your power and resilience. Say things like, I am not a slave to fear. I am in control of my actions and choices. I am worthy of love, success, and peace. Words have power, especially when you say them with intention. They can help reprogram your mind and keep you focused on your strengths. Set boundaries. Protect your energy by setting boundaries. This might mean distancing yourself from toxic people, limiting your time on social media, or avoiding situations that trigger negative emotions. Boundaries are not selfish, they are necessary for your well being. You deserve to have space to grow and heal without unnecessary distractions. Connect with support. You don't have to do this alone. Surround yourself with people who uplift and encourage you. This could be friends, family, or a community of like minded individuals who understand what you're going through. If you're battling addiction or fear, consider seeking professional help or joining a support group. There is strength in asking for help, and you don't have to carry this burden by yourself. Practice self care. Take care of your physical, emotional, and spiritual health. This might mean eating nutritious foods, exercising, meditating, journaling, or spending time in nature. Self care is not just about relaxing, it's about strengthening yourself so you can face challenges with confidence and clarity. Remember, you are not alone. It's important to know that you're not alone in this battle. Many others are facing similar challenges, and there is support available to help you. More importantly, you are stronger than these negative forces. They might try to knock you down, but they can't stop you unless you let them. Every time you choose to stand firm, to keep going despite the fear or temptation, you are winning. Every step you take toward growth and healing is a victory. Stay true to your growth, resist the pull of old habits. This season, you might feel an inner tug pulling you back toward things you've already decided to leave behind. Maybe you've worked hard to break free from certain behaviors, habits, or situations, but now they're tempting you again. It could be anything: unhealthy relationships, addictions, self destructive behaviors, or patterns that don't align with the person you want to become. This pull is normal, it happens to everyone at some point. Growth can feel uncomfortable, and when you're making progress, it's easy for your old ways to seem appealing. But remember, those old habits didn't serve you before, and they won't serve you now. The progress you've made is worth holding on to. This is the moment to remind yourself why you started this journey and to stay committed to your goals. Is you recognizing the temptation to go back. Let's start by understanding why this happens. When you decide to make positive changes, your mind and body may still be wired for the old ways of living. For example, if you stopped engaging in unhealthy relationships, you might find yourself craving the comfort of familiarity, even if it wasn't good for you. If you've quit an addiction, the stress of life might make you feel like turning back to that source of temporary relief. If you've chosen to be more confident, there may still be moments where you feel like shrinking back because it feels easier. These temptations are not a sign of failure. They are a test of your determination and growth. You're being given the chance to prove to yourself just how strong you've become. Standing up against low self-esteem. For those who struggle with low self-esteem, this season might bring challenges that push you to stand up for yourself. There will always be people who test your boundaries. They may say things to make you feel small or try to push you into situations where you feel powerless. This can happen at work, in social groups, or even with family and friends. Here's what you need to remember: you have the right to be heard, respected, and valued. If someone tries to make you feel unworthy, speak up. Even if your voice shakes, let them know you won't accept being treated poorly. Your confidence might not feel strong yet, but every time you stand up for yourself, it grows. Let's imagine an example: you're in a group setting and someone makes a joke at your expense. Maybe in the past you would have laughed awkwardly or stayed quiet, even if it hurt. This time, try saying something like, "I don't appreciate that comment," or simply, "That's not okay." You don't have to be confrontational, but showing that you respect yourself sends a powerful message to others and to yourself. Facing people who test you. Sometimes the people around you will hold onto an outdated version of who you used to be. They might still see you as someone who is weak, fearful, or stuck in bad habits. These people may intentionally or unintentionally try to pull you back into old patterns. For example, if you used to struggle with anger, they might provoke you to see if you'll lose your temper. If you've overcome addiction, they might offer you what you're trying to avoid, saying things like one time won't hurt. If you're working on building confidence, they might challenge you with dismissive comments to see if you'll stand your ground. These situations can feel frustrating or even hurtful, but they are opportunities to show how much you've grown. Instead of reacting the way you might have in the past, take a deep breath and respond with the strength and clarity you've been building. Breaking free from old patterns. Let's say you've been labeled as someone who can't control their temper. In the past, maybe you reacted explosively when someone pushed your buttons. This season, if someone tries to provoke you, pause before responding. Recognize what's happening. They're testing the old version of you. Instead of reacting out of anger, respond calmly. This might catch them off guard, and it shows that you're no longer controlled by that old pattern. The same goes for addiction. If someone offers you something you've worked hard to quit, remind yourself of why you made a decision to stop. You don't owe anyone an explanation, but you can say something like, "No, I don't do that anymore." Standing firm reinforces your growth and keeps you on track. Why people test you. It's important to understand that when people test you, it often says more about them than it does about you. Some people might feel uncomfortable with your growth because it reminds them of their own struggles. Others might not believe you've truly changed and want to see if you'll revert to your old ways. Whatever their reasons, remember this: you don't have to prove anything to anyone. Your growth is for you, not for them. By staying true to yourself, you're not only showing your strength, but also setting an example that change is possible. Practical tips for staying strong. Here are some simple steps to help you stay on track when you feel the pull of old habits or face challenges from others. Pause and reflect when you feel tempted or triggered. Take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Is this action aligned with the person I want to be? Remind yourself of your why. Think about the reasons you decided to change in the first place. What motivated you to leave those old habits behind? Focus on that. Have a support system. Surround yourself with people who support your growth. They can remind you of your progress and help you stay accountable. Practice self-affirmation. Speak kindly to yourself. Remind yourself of your strengths and achievements. For example, I am strong, I am strong, I am in control, and I deserve better. Set boundaries. Don't be afraid to distance yourself from people or situations that tempt you to go back to old habits. Celebrate small wins. Every time you resist temptation or stand up for yourself, celebrate it. These small victories build confidence and momentum. Embracing your true self. This season is about becoming the truest version of yourself. The old version of you, the one tied to fear, addiction, insecurity, or anger, is not who you are anymore. You've worked hard to grow, and you deserve to live in the freedom of that growth. When challenges arise, remind yourself that you're not defined by your past or by how others see you. You are defined by the choices you make today. Each time you choose to stay true to your growth, you're building a stronger, more authentic version of yourself. A visual example to inspire you. Imagine sitting in a park, enjoying some quiet time. A group nearby starts playing soccer. One of them deliberately kicks the ball toward you, trying to get a reaction. Maybe in the past you would have gotten angry or felt embarrassed, but now you simply pick up the ball, hand it back calmly, and continue enjoying your day. This small act of composure shows that you're no longer controlled by your old reactions. The same principle applies to bigger challenges. Whether it's resisting an addiction, standing up to criticism, or staying calm under pressure, every choice you make to act differently reinforces your growth. You are not a slave to the past. Remember, you are not a slave to your past habits, fears, or insecurities. You are free to choose a better path. The people or situations trying to pull you back don't have power over you unless you let them. Stand tall, speak up, and live boldly as the person you're becoming. Even if you stumble along the way, it's okay. Growth is a journey, not a destination. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Trust yourself, stay committed, and don't let anyone, including yourself, convince you to settle for anything less than the best version of you. Final thoughts. This season is a test, but it's also an opportunity. You've come so far, and you have the strength to keep moving forward. Resist the pull of old habits, stand up for yourself, and embrace the new, stronger version of you. Remember, you are not defined by your past or by what others think of you. You are defined by your choices today. Keep growing, keep pushing, and keep believing in yourself. You've got this.